Hello and welcome to MBA 5600 Managerial Finance in the spring of 2023. I'm your professor, Dr. Alex Holcomb, and in this introductory video we are mostly going to be going through the syllabus and talking through the expectations for the class, both what you should expect to learn and what you should expect from me, and on the other side, what I expect from y'all. So it should be a relatively quick video here. You can treat this video more or less as your video syllabus. So it's going to remain on the ASULearn page for the duration of the course. You can come back here if you've got any questions about the syllabus, the schedule, things you need, or things you might have forgotten to do. All of that's going to be here, as well as posted in various places on the ASULearn page. This is a fully online, fully asynchronous course, meaning that we are not going to have any regular Zoom lectures or meetings of any kind. This is going to be completely at your own pace. All of the lecture videos, example problems, homework, all that stuff's been pre-recorded and pre-posted. So it is going to be up to each and every one of you to keep up with the schedule and maintain the pace that is set in this course, which is significant. And to make sure that you get all your work in on time and show for the exams when they're set. Okay. Now, that being said, I am fully available to meet with y'all, either in person if you happen to be in Boone and you're just taking this online because of work, or over Zoom or email or anything like that. If you would like to stop by and see me in person, I've got an office in Peacock Hall, 3088. Otherwise, please send me an email at the email address that's posted here, holcombaj2. I am checking my email all the time during normal business hours. I will endeavor to get back to you, as quickly as I can with any emailed questions. I will also endeavor to set up any appointments via Zoom within reason at your convenience, so that we can talk about any concerns, issues, questions that you might have about the class, questions about, just the general setting of the class or finance in general, anything like that. I'm always happy to meet with you guys. Okay. Now, prereqs, you should have had a finance module before enrolling here. This is sort of more or less a formality here. If you were allowed to register for this course, I'm assuming that you have met the prerequisites for that course. That being said, some of the things that we particularly need, so y'all need to be familiar with, are the early intro accounting stuff. So we're going to be dealing with accounting measures. Accounting and finance are really closely tied together. So we use accounting information to make financial decisions, and that's a big part of this class. So a familiarity with the balance sheet, income statement, and financial statement are required. So you're absolutely going to need those. Not super in-depth, not super detailed. This isn't an accounting course, but you will need to be able to read all those statements and put some together in order to make financial decisions. So that is a requirement here. From the math side, that's the other kind of prereq that we really care about. It is necessary that you feel very comfortable doing higher level algebra. We're not doing calculus or anything like that in this course, so there isn't a super high-level math requirement, but we are going to do a lot of math, a lot of algebra. So being able to solve for unknowns and things like that. We're going to have a bit of statistics at the end, all of it algebra-based. So as long as you feel comfortable using algebraic formula and doing algebraic tasks, you are ready to go in terms of the math. So you need a little bit of accounting, you need a little bit of math. As long as none of that is terribly freaky to y'all, you're going to be just fine. Okay. Description. This is a corporate finance class. So this is an introduction to corporate finance, meaning the finance of corporations. So we are going to be trying to understand how and why companies make financial decisions and investments. So we are not interested in personal finance, right? So this is not a class where you're going to learn how to do your taxes, or a class where you're going to learn how to invest your 401k. Or your retirement money, or buy Bitcoin. That's outside the scope. What is inside the scope is, how does Apple decide to make a new investment in a factory, or how does a company like Tesla or GM decide to automate one of their facilities as opposed to having manual labor building cars. Okay, those are the kinds of decision-making processes that we're going to be talking about. Now, that being said, when it's applicable and the theory is the same, I am definitely going to try to tie personal concepts to corporate ones so that we have that we are able to have a better grasp on what this actually means, and having a personal context on there often helps. Text. There is no text required. The one that I broadly follow is called The Fundamentals of Corporate Finance. It is a McGraw-Hill book by Ross Westerfield and Jordan. It is available at the bookstore, online, hard copy, but nothing that we do in this class requires it. I'm not going to assign readings from it. I'm not going to assign homework problems from it. We do not use the McGraw-Hill Connect system for homeworks or anything like that. So you can get through this class completely without it, and most of my students do. They do so because all of the material that you need in this course is either contained in the lecture notes, the lecture slides, the lecture videos, or the example problems that are all provided on the ASULearn page. Right? So you can get everything that you need from this course from that material. I think college textbooks are a scam. I hate how expensive they are. I'm not trying to rip you guys off anymore, and I know that most of you probably wouldn't even crack it. Those of you that would open the book, that do prefer to have a book, I'm one of those people. I like to read the book. It helps me learn it better. There are bazillions of used copies floating around the internet out there. You can use a copy from any edition, from the International Edition to the first edition to the 12th, I think they're on the 14th edition now. It doesn't change hardly at all. There is no need to spend the big bucks on the newest version. The material itself has not changed since it was first written. Okay? So if you want a book and you have questions about what kind of book you actually want to get or something like that, just reach out to me and we'll find you a book. But you certainly don't need one if you don't want one. There are a few things you do need, however, for this course. One of them is a financial calculator. So you will need a financial calculator. And that is a specific type of calculator that has finance functions on it. So a generic, just simple scientific calculator is not enough. It will not have the functions you need. The calculator that I am going to use and teach in this class is called a TIBA2+. And it looks like this. This is a TIBA2+. This is what I am going to use in the example videos and the lectures. This is what I am going to teach you how to use in the example videos and the lectures. However, it is not your only option. There are other kinds of finance calculators. There are some from HP. There are all the TI graphing calculators have finance functions in them as well. Right? And you are welcome to use any calculator you want. I would recommend that you pick one and stick with it. Just because you are going to want to practice solving problems using this calculator before you have to play on the exam. So I will encourage you to make sure that you're using one, but I have plenty of students use two. Use a financial calculator to do the finance problems, use a graphing calculator to do the algebra problems. You're totally welcome to do that as well. Right? What I will say is that while I am familiar with using the finance functions on graphing calculators, I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to have videos posted showing that. You will have to figure that kind of stuff out on your own, but you absolutely can do everything on a graphing calculator that you can do on the BA2+. The reason I require the BA2+ as opposed to the graphing calculator is simply because it's cheaper. It's like $30. So you can buy one, find a used one. There's tons floating around in boot. Okay. So this is the calculator you're going to use. I recommend that you buy one pretty quick just so you don't have to deal with any shipping. We are going to start using it relatively quickly in the class within 2 weeks, and you'll definitely need it for the first exam. Okay? So the sooner the better. The other technological thing that we require in this class is, of course, a computer with a webcam. And we'll talk more about why you need the webcam, but it is essentially because the exams are proctored via webcam. And so you're going to need to have a webcam to take the exams. Now, the practice problems, homework problems, these are all created and designed by me. They're hosted on ASULearn, so they are fully online homework, just like if you've used Connect or anything like that. It's hopefully has a similar feel to that, only you don't have to pay anything. So they're all posted on ASULearn. We'll go through the homework stuff in more detail, but it's all there. You don't need anything else to get the homework done. There are additional readings posted, and we'll talk about that when we go to the ASULearn page. There are additional readings there. This is to help tie real-world outcomes to the concepts and things that we talk about in this class. So if we're talking about taxes or something like that, I try to find some articles that post about how these things affect companies in the real world so that you get some context, because context is important in learning this material. Okay. The schedule. Asynchronous online course, so there of course is no set schedule. We are not going to be meeting on certain days. All the videos and stuff are posted. You can watch them at your leisure. What I have included in this syllabus below is a proposed schedule that will keep you on track with all of the due dates that are actually fixed for this class. Right? So all the homework due dates, all the exams are fixed. So to keep up with the material, you should be keeping up, broadly speaking, with this schedule. Now, you can treat it however you want. I have proposed a schedule that would be in keeping with having this class in person, meaning meeting twice a week with the lectures following on that schedule. Broadly speaking, we will cover about one chapter every week, and so you will need to keep up that quickly or at sort of that level with the material. So I have here proposed a schedule that I will keep to in the in-person version of this class. It's this semester meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but of course this is an online asynchronous course, so y'all can make your own schedules, watch these videos, and do this stuff at your own leisure. However, as long as you make sure that you are keeping to the fixed due dates that are going forward. So, for instance, the first day of class on next Tuesday, the 17th, we'll just do an introductory class, which is when y'all can watch this video. And then we would swing right into Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapters 5 and 6. You'll see that we cover approximately one chapter per week, culminating in about a month with the first exam on February 9th. Now, there's also approximately one homework per week, per chapter, and we usually have that due after we finish the material. So we finished the material for Chapter 2 on the 19th. The homework for Chapter 2 is due on the 24th, and the homework is due on the day it is listed in the syllabus at midnight Eastern Time. So homework 1 is due January 24th at midnight. Homework 2, covering Chapter 5, is due February 2nd at midnight. And we'll talk a little bit more about the homeworks a little bit later in the video. Now, the exams are taken or are assigned on the date they're listed here on the syllabus, and they are available for the 24-hour period during that date. So, for instance, Exam 1 will be available for the 24 hours of February 9th. So from midnight on February 8th Eastern Time to midnight on February 9th Eastern Time. Now, you can take the exam at any point during that 24-hour period. However, you must finish it within the 24-hour period. The exam takes 75 minutes, or you are allowed 75 minutes, and so that means you must start at least 75 minutes before midnight on the 9th in order to be able to take the full time. In between then and now and then, you will have to cover the 4 chapters worth of material. So watch the lectures, do the homeworks, work the example problems, and get ready for the exam. Okay. The rest of the schedule is posted in a similar way. We have about 1 homework for every assignment for every chapter, with 2 Excel homeworks that cover chapters that don't have a fixed homework. Okay. Now, the Excel assignments have a little more time in between. The first Excel assignment is given about 2 weeks before it's due. The second Excel assignment is given about 3 weeks before it's due. That's simply so that you have more time, if you are not familiar with Excel, to become familiar with Excel. Because a big part of this class is at least familiarizing yourself with Excel at a very basic form. Now, y'all are MBAs. I have expectation that Excel is nothing new to you at this point, in which case this should be no more work than any of the other any of the other homework assignments, rather. Okay. Now there is one break this semester, spring break. It falls on the week of March 13th to March 17th, and although this is an asynchronous class, so we're not actually meeting, that means we won't actually be taking a break during this point. Of course, I have it here listed on the syllabus because I encourage you guys to take a break. Treat it as if you are in person. You're working, you got families, you have plenty of stuff to do, and everyone deserves a break. Even if I can't give you a break from work, I can at least give you a break from assignments and lectures. So please take it and treat it as you would any other spring break. Okay. So this is the schedule that I will keep to. It is the schedule that I am going to keep proposing as well. So you'll get relatively weekly emails from me, maybe even more, so relatively frequent emails from me, trying to keep you on this schedule. So you'll get an email from me on the Monday of every week saying, here's what you should be watching, here's the material you should be covering, here is when the next homework is due, here is when the next exam is, and so on and so forth. So you'll be hearing from me pretty frequently via email, just trying to make sure that everybody's staying abreast of the material and of all the due dates. And we'll talk more about the calendars and stuff like that and as you learn. But there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of material. It comes at you really fast. It's a lot of new stuff. If you get behind in this class, it is really, really difficult to catch back up. Right? All of this material builds on each other. So the stuff that we're doing in Chapter 13, we covered originally in Chapter 6, and we're just adding more and more stuff. So there is very little time in this class to fall behind. And again, y'all are MBAs. I expect that everyone is ready and prepared. But I do want to be upfront about this class. It's a difficult one. It's a lot of new material. So I want you to be prepared for that, particularly because you are taking this class online. So I can't be saying that to you every week in person. Okay. So here's the proposed schedule. Again, sticking with it is up to you. Okay. Grades. The course grades are weighted as follows. Each of the 3 exams is worth 25% of your grade. So you can see that there are just 3 exams, one on the 19th of September, one on the 26th of October, and one on December 5th. Okay. So the 3 exams are worth 25% each. That's 75% of the total. The homework assignments are worth 15%, so about 2 points for every homework assignment. And then the Excel projects are 5% each, so 10% total for the 2 Excels. Okay. All of the exams are given and proctored online via ASULearn, and the Respondus Lockdown browser and monitor. So what that means is you're going to have to download the Respondus Lockdown browser. It's going to lock your computer down, so you can only do the only thing you can do on the computer is take the exam, and then you're going to have a webcam, because the webcam is going to watch you during the exam, just so that we make sure that no one has an incentive to do any cheating on the side. Okay. Now, the course grades distribution is standard, so 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to a 90 is a B. I'll give a plus grade for any score in the top 2 points of each decile, so 88, 89 is a B plus. Everything else is a B. I don't give minuses. I think they're bullshit. Okay. So in exams, you're going to need a financial calculator. You are not going to be able to use Excel or any online-based calculator on the exam, so keep that in mind. You're going to have a physical calculator, and you're going to have to be able to use it at the exam time. You're also going to need a webcam so that the exam will be proctored. Okay. Any missed exam, this is a master's class, I'm a little more, I know you guys, lots of you are working, so I'm a little more forgiving on times, but if you are going to have to miss an exam, for any reason, you need to contact me well beforehand and schedule it on a different day. Okay, this is online, that's not a ton of work, but if you email me the day of the exam saying that you had a meeting that you forgot about, I'm not going to be very forgiving. Right? I need to hear well before that we're going to reschedule, and so that we can reschedule. Okay, y'all are working, you're master students. The onus is on you to be prepared and be ready. Okay. Disability resources. If you have accommodations set up with ODR, then hopefully they've already contacted me. You should also be reaching out to me to make sure that I've been heard from ODR and make sure that we have everything set up that we need to have set up so that there are no surprises and we get everything going for you. Okay. Academic integrity. This says don't cheat. We have always had issues with cheating in college. It's been particularly more so during our major shift to online stuff. So I don't expect any master's student to have any issues with that. But we are monitoring the exams. We are checking the homeworks. We're making sure that things aren't posted to Chegg or Coursera or whatever. So we have turned in plenty of people for cheating. You fail the class, you fail, and if it happens too many times, if it happens more than once, you are kicked out of the university. So let's make sure that none of that happens to any of us, and we'll do just fine. Withdraw from the class. This is on y'all. You know where the drop dates are. You know the procedures. Make sure you get it in by the due date if you are trying to get out of the class. But I'm not going to be announcing that or keeping anybody abreast of those kinds of dates. That's not something I have any interest in doing. Okay, so that's on y'all. For you manually. Now, it's really important here to note that I have a pretty strict grading policy. So I do not curve any exams, any homework. I do not round. I do not curve the final grade, and I don't round the final grade. So exactly what you earn in this class is what you're going to end up with. And so it's really important that you recognize that from the outset. So you can input your grades at any point for your, say, 3 exams. Just pick 3 random numbers for now. You can input the total score from your homework. So this is, 60% basically on the homework. If you say got 90% on the homework, and then your 2 Excel projects, neither of which are super complicated, and that would tell you that your final grade is going to be a 74.6. Okay. So this is how you calculate your final grade. It's available during the entire semester, and it will be here. So that you can play around and know exactly where you stand. Underneath is the 2 syllabi. So the one's in person, one's online. They are almost exactly the same, with some with of course the difference being that there's language in there about being online or in person that isn't relevant. So you're able to access the online syllabus here, which is what we just went through. There is tutoring available, so there are some links here to help you with that. Over here on the right hand side, it has upcoming events. This is the ASULearn calendar. It tells you precisely when every single scheduled event on this ASULearn course happens. So tomorrow, I'm recording this on Sunday, so tomorrow, Monday, first day of class, homework 1 opens. Wednesday, the 31st, homework 1 closes at 11:59 p.m. Right? You can go to the whole calendar here by clicking on Go to Calendar. It will tell you the entire schedule for the course, already laid out. All of this stuff is scheduled. If you scroll to the bottom here, you can export this calendar to your GCal or to your iCal. And it will have all of these dates just as events in your calendar laid out exactly. And then you never have to worry about missing anything in this class. The next section you'll see is all of the lecture and lecture material. Right? So this is broken down into chapters. Right? So we are going to go through about 1 chapter a week. So these is lecture 1. Chapter 2 is our first chapter. First, you'll have your slides. These are the PowerPoint presentations that I follow in my lecture videos. So this is the chapter 2 lecture slides. Now the slides are not specifically not filled with a ton of detail. They are highlights for me to hit during the lecture, and they are essentially just a good way for you to structure the notes that you're going to take during the lectures. And yes, I would encourage you to watch the lectures and take notes just as if this was an in-person class. Okay? It is going to help you significantly and has been proven to help if you write things down. Okay? Then there are example problems that I will work throughout the lecture. So the way the lectures are structured is I will lecture for a little bit on a topic, then we'll take a break and we'll work an example. These videos are linked in the YouTube videos. And so, for instance, here are the chapter 2 video example problems. So it is a problem set up with blank space underneath, and then several of those problems that will work as we go through the lectures. Right? Now, I will strongly encourage you to print these out so that you can work the problems alongside me. Again, writing them, working them, using them has proven to be the most effective way to remember and learn this stuff. Okay. Next is the folder containing the example and lecture videos. They are broken down into about 10-minute chunks so that you can watch them as you have the time or allowed, right? You don't have to remember where in a 60-minute lecture video you left off. They're 10-minute chunks. They cover a sort of discrete topic, and then they move on. Right? So there are, for instance, 9 videos, parts of the lecture, and then 4 example videos covering each of those problems in that problem handout. If you click on the video, it will give you a YouTube link. You can follow the YouTube link. I don't know why it's not letting me link here.
Okay, hi.
Here's the YouTube link.
Welcome.
It will have a lecture. It will then break to the slides. I'll talk about the slides, and we'll break apart. If there are examples that we are working during that lecture, during that part of the lecture, I will have a link pop up here so that you can click, pause this video, click to the example, watch the example video, then come back to the lecture, right? So all of this is structured so that it hopefully feels almost exactly the same as if we were taking this class in person, right? So you can watch the video, you can jump to the example, which is what I would do in person, then we come back to the lecture, and you can watch the whole thing in one go if you want. Okay. Again, I would be very much encouraging you to watch and take notes and treat it as if you were sitting in the classroom. Below that are any of these articles or additional reading that I have provided here to try and tie what we're talking about to the real world so that you have a better understanding of how these fundamentals actually work. So in this first lecture, chapter 2, we're going to be talking about the rehashing or sort of reviewing the accounting topics that we really need and what's really important in terms of a finance class versus an accounting class. And so I have some articles here about, say, some tax strategies that companies might use, which is one of the things we're going to talk about. Now, I have the links here, so you can click on the link and it'll take you to the Wall Street Journal article itself. I know lots of you, or probably maybe all of you, aren't going to have a Wall Street Journal subscription, so I also copied them into a Word document. You can come click on the Word document and read it. None of these articles are super long. I am not going to test you explicitly on information in any of the articles. However, they are very relevant to the topics that we're going to cover in the class, and so of course I am testing you on those topics, and so an alternate or additional information here is really useful. Right? So you'll have that for all of the chapters. There isn't always material that we'll cover in the chapter, so there's no extra material from chapter 3, just the lectures and the videos. The slides and the lecture videos. 5, 6, sometimes there will be Excel examples, so that we're going to work problems in Excel. Part of this class is increasing your familiarity with Excel, so they're posted here as well. So for instance, in chapter 6, we're going to talk about loan amortization, which is the process by which we decide what the payment on a loan would be. And so there is an Excel file here that I made that will tell you, for instance, in this one, what the payment on a house loan you might get. So if you want to borrow $350,000 to buy a house and you get a certain interest rate, this is going to help you understand what the payment is. Okay, so that's here too. So all of the information that you need for the class is already posted from the first lecture to the last one, right? And it's already right here. You're ready to go. You can watch all of these videos in one weekend if you really want to. I don't expect anybody to do that, but of course, it's all here for when you're ready. Okay. After that is the homework assignments folder. These are all the homework assignments that you're going to have for the class, including the Excel project, which you will download an Excel file from this link. You will upload the finished Excel file back to this link. The due dates are listed in the calendar. They're also available when you just click in. It says, this is the first homework. It is due August 31st at midnight. No late submissions will be accepted. Anything you have completed will auto-submit at this due date on the date, so at midnight. So if you have gotten in and worked half of the problems and saved it, but then just couldn't have time to get back in, whatever you have done will auto-submit. Okay. Please read the instructions on each of these. It's really important that you follow the instructions, particularly with things like rounding and stuff. This is an online homework system that I built, so it doesn't know the difference, for instance, between $12,345.12 and $12,345. Right? It will count you wrong. You can email me if you have made some rounding mistake and you think that is you think that's why you got the problem wrong. I will go and check. I'm happy to give you the point if it is a simple rounding mistake. However, I do not want to be doing that 100 times throughout the semester because you keep forgetting. At some point, I'm going to cut you off, right? So I'm not going to kill you for it, but eventually I'm not going to be your friend about it either. Okay? You will have 2 attempts on every homework assignment, and these are laid out here. You will get the score for the best of your attempts. So if you get an 80 on one and a 100 on the next, you'll get the 100. The 80 won't count. You can take the 2 attempts however long time you want, how it's spread however you want, as long as they both happen before the due date. After you finish the first attempt, you will be able to click into that attempt and have detailed solutions and explanations for each of the problems. Okay, so spend a lot of time going in there, putting out a detailed solution, saying here's what you should have done, here's the logic behind how that should have worked. When you start your second attempt, you will get mostly the same questions, but they will all, even if it's the same question, have different numbers, so you will have to reattempt the homework using that. That being said, I would hope that if you want to get 100 on these homework assignments, you are able to, right? And I would love it if every single person got hundreds on all the homeworks. Perfect. That's exactly what the point is. I am not trying to hurt you or your score by making you do the homework. But if you do not practice these problems, you will not do well on the exams. Okay. So you'll do all that from here. This first homework will open up on day 1. And then as we go through the topics, the homeworks will open and close. And you can see all of that on the schedule. Okay. Likewise, I will have the exams here, right? So this is where you're going to I'm going to post review material and the exam links themselves under these headings. So a couple weeks before exam 1, I'll post all the reviews and the exam. The exam will be open for that 24-hour period. You'll be able to see it all right here. Right. What's posted right now is the formula sheet that you're going to be allowed to use during the exams and the practice respondus exam. Right. So this is going to open up on the first day of class and it will close the day before the first exam. It is a single question. All it is going to force you to do is download the respondus monitor and make sure that everything works fine. Doesn't matter what the question is, I will give you a 1 extra credit point, and that is the only extra credit I will give in this entire class. If you do the practice respondus exam before the first exam, you'll get a free point. That might be the difference between an 89.1 and a 90, and that's the difference between a B plus and an A. Okay, and I don't round, so this is your 1 chance to get yourself a free round, basically. So click on this link. Download the respondus browser, make sure you're good to go. Do it before the first exam so we don't have any trouble. Okay. Below that is calculator help. Here is all of the stuff that I've compiled to make sure that as you're using the calculators, you have some resources to help you if you get lost or forget. For the TIB82 Plus, there are some examples and guidelines here that I put together for each of the types of problems that we'll do in this class. However, those are also all going to be contained in the videos, so you can just go watch the example videos and see the calculator being used in action. For the TI-86 and TI-83 and 84, I have put together some guides telling you how to use the finance functions in those calculators so that you can follow along there. Everything that you can do, or that I will show you how to do in the TIB82 Plus, you can do on the graphing calculators. You just do it in a different way, right? Now it's on you if you're using the graphing calculators to find that way, okay? So we have all of this linked here. All of the videos, lecture videos, are linked through these slides, so you can do everything through ASULearn. Alternatively, if you are just on YouTube, you can go through the page. This is my official Appalachian University page, right? So it's tied to the university because we're a Google school. Every faculty member has a channel. You can go to the channel, you can look at the playlists, which are grouped by, say, Chapter 12, Chapter 9, lectures, Chapter 8, example problems. You can go straight to here, you can see the playlist, and you can work through the problems. These are all the Chapter 8 examples for the Introduction to Corporate Finance class, which is this course. So make sure you're looking at the right course because I have multiple ones. You can watch all the videos. They're all linked here. So for whatever reason, ASULearn is down, YouTube is not down, all you got to do is go find my page and you can watch all this stuff. Okay, so it's all there for you. Okay, I think that's all I have in terms of introduction and expectations. I think this class is pretty well laid out for an online course, but I would love it if you've got any suggestions, comments, either leave an evaluation or just send me an email or come chat. I'm always looking for ways to improve this course and to make the experience better for both me and for you. Please, of course, reach out to me anytime if you want to meet or have any questions about anything. That's what I'm here for. Otherwise, expect to hear from me in mostly email form as we move through the semester. Hopefully I'll get to meet some of y'all either on Zoom or in person. If you never want to talk to me or see me, just make sure you're doing all the work and turn everything in, and we'll get along just fine that way too. All right. So good luck. And hopefully we'll have a great semester.